Sometimes the most fascinating stories aren't spelled out for you. They're hidden in the details. A line in a logbook, a quick note about inventory, that's where the real truth is. Today, we're putting on our detective hats and diving into the scattered records of an adventuring party to figure out one of its most mysterious members. So, who is Andanor? All we have to go on is the name. There's no portrait, no biography, just a breadcrumb trail of clues left behind in the records. And our mission today is to follow that trail and piece together exactly who she was. Okay, first things first, context. Anador didn't roll solo. She was part of a group called Kellium the Gang. And just look at this roster. She's one of 8. So the big question is, where did she fit into this eclectic crew? All right, this is where our investigation really begins. Our first and maybe our best source of intel is the party's loot log. We're going to take a hard look at the items she carried because, trust me, they paint a shockingly clear picture of her role in the group. There's an old saying, right? You are what you carry. And in a world filled with magic and danger, that's literally true. The gear you choose, that's your job description, your survival strategy, all in one. And Anador's choices, well, they tell us a lot. Let's start with Exhibit A, the iron pin of the ICC. Now, this is way more than just a compass. It can sniff out magical interference and, get this, it can cast a spell that finds a path through pretty much anything. This one item tells us right off the bat that Andanor was the party's navigator. And we're not just talking about some minor spell. A 20th level Find the Path, that is world-class magic. That's the kind of thing that gets you through a divinely crafted maze or finds a fortress hidden by illusion. With Andanor and this pin, Calum the Gang was basically never lost. Ever. Which brings us to her second major role. She wasn't just pointing the way, she was carrying the load. Literally, she had a bag of holding that could carry 1,000 pounds. For anyone who doesn't know, a bag of holding is basically a personal pocket dimension. This made her the team's quartermaster, their mobile treasure chest, and their supply line all rolled into one. That's a huge, huge advantage for any group. And her other gear just rounds out this picture of a total pro. The Ioun Stone, that's her emergency get-out-of-jail-free card. Just phase out of reality for an hour if things go south. And the spell wand let her cast her own spells more efficiently, which is crucial for long, dangerous trips. So we know she's the navigator and the logistics expert, a prepared spellcaster. But how did all that translate to the battlefield? To find out, we're turning from the loot logs to the field reports, the session notes that tell the story of what actually happened. And wow, the logs hit us with this incredible contrast. It's like night and day. First, you've got this moment of pure triumph. Andor dusts most of the warriors. And then, just blunt tragedy. Anamor dead, dead. That phrase, dusts warriors, that's our smoking gun. In this world, that's not just a colorful description. It refers to a very specific divine power called Turn Undead, an ability almost exclusively wielded by clerics. She wasn't just fighting skeletons. She was wiping them from existence with holy fire. So that really begs the question, doesn't it? If she's this unstoppable force against the undead, capable of turning them to dust with a gesture, what in the world could have taken her down? It makes her death feel that much more shocking. The answer, it turns out, was pure, random chaos, a prismatic spray. This is one of the most unpredictable and dangerous spells out there. It's like a shotgun blast of different magical effects. You might get hit with fire, or a deadly poison, or turn to stone instantly. It's a magical lottery, and Andanor's number just came up. Okay, so now we have all the pieces of the puzzle. Her incredible gear, her greatest moment, and her tragic end. We can finally put it all together to understand what she was truly worth to Calum the Game. When you lay it all out, her value is crystal clear. It wasn't about being the biggest damage dealer. It was about providing these 3 absolutely essential pillars of support: navigation that never failed, crowd control against a very specific and scary enemy, and logistics that nobody else could handle. And that's our answer. That's who Andanor was. She was the cleric, the navigator, the quartermaster. She was the utility specialist who made the whole adventure possible. She might not have been the one to land the killing blow on the big bad guy, but without her, the party would have been lost, swarmed by skeletons, and probably crushed under the weight of their own gold. So, what does this all mean? I think her story is the perfect reminder that on any team, the most valuable player isn't always the one making the most noise. Sometimes it's the person quietly holding the map, carrying the supplies, and turning an entire undead horde to dust. And to wrap up our investigation, I'll leave you with a final thought that I think perfectly captures Andanor's spirit. When it came to her job fighting skeletons, she was absolutely 100% dedicated.